Night Shift is an experimental television program produced by several colleges and universities in the New England area in association with WCVB-TV. Tonight's program is presented by the Boston College Department of Speech, Communication, and Theater.
Good evening and welcome to Night Shift. Tonight we'll be looking at what it's like to be a professional band in Boston. My guests are members of the group Rough and Ready. They'll play some of their original songs, and then we'll talk about some of the rewards and frustrations of being a band today. I'm Jennifer Doyle, and I'll be your hostess tonight on Rough and Ready Rocks.
Time heals all wounds, that's what they say. But I say, vengeance and anger just burn away. Your pretty face, your long black hair, and ice blue eyes, I can't forget. I'm gonna nail your face back up on my wall and put my sights to it. Yes, time heals all wounds, that's what they say. But I say, vengeance and anger just burn away. Time heals all wounds, that's what they say. But I say, vengeance and anger just burn away. Time, burn away. Time, time, burn away. Time, 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 burn away. Time, 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 burn away.
All right. Well, Rough and Ready is rocking tonight, and we'll be back in a minute with an interview with the band.
Every day, local TV stations carry the same hot news items, and of course, we think News Center 5's coverage is the best. But it's our people that help make News Center 5 so different. No one else has the style and color of a Bill O'Connell, Paula Lyons, or Chuck Kramer, or the unique perspectives that Joe Day and Jorge Quiroga bring to Chet Curtis and Natalie Jacobson's Checkpoint series. News Center 5, lively and informative. After all, there's more to New England news than just the burning issues.
Sometimes in this less than perfect world, trying to find information from your state government can lead to a lot of dead ends. That's why the Massachusetts Secretary of State's office has the Citizen Information Service. Just call 727-7030 in Boston or 1-800-392-6090 toll-free and get answers to your questions on taxes, licenses, anything to do with state government. Next time, call us. We'll help you find what you've been looking for.
We're here with the Rough and Ready Band, and before we start, I'd just like to introduce the members of the band. This is Steve DiNardo on bass.
Pleased to be here.
Pat McCarthy on rhythm guitar.
Yes.
Joe Malaganowski on lead guitar, and Ronnie Canonico on drums.
Nice to be here.
You know, I always find it interesting to find out how a band gets its name. One of my favorite bands was practicing in some barn out in South Carolina and found an old key on the floor that said Marshall Tucker, and that's how they got their name. How was Rough and Ready named?
The Rough and Ready Band actually started in about January of last year, and we'd been together for a little while, and all of a sudden we decided, you know, an opportunity came along to do a show, and we were, you know, there was no way we were going to turn the thing down, so we took it on, and we just decided to call the band Rough and Ready because we were all there. We hadn't really been there too long, but we knew that we were ready to go out and do it, and we just did, and it worked, luckily.
So you're a little rough and a little ready.
That's basically it, yeah. The act is always rough, you know,
Yeah.
but it's always ready enough to put it anywhere we want to put it.
So how did you all get together?
That's a pretty strange story.
Usually
What happened was an old friend of mine had called me up for a jam session out in Newton, and Steven, the bassist, and was there along with another ex-member of the band, and we had gotten together, and they had met with Pat and Joe about 2 weeks before that, and we just got together and jammed, and it came off really well, and Pat and Joe and Steve and the other member got together, and they were jamming, and I was invited over, and just sat down and decided to get the band together. You know, Ronnie kind of walked in on a very, very strange scene. He just walked in, he sat down at the drums. We hadn't really played with him. He just sat down and took our hearts away, and we had to keep him from there on. That's kind of the way the whole thing went with everybody.
So you
well,
guys...
we're not really all strangers, because Joe and I went to high school together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they go back a long way.
Yeah.
Go back a long way.
Did you ever have another band before
We've
Rough
been
and
in several
Ready?
bands together, the two
About
of us.
13,000, yeah.
How about the rest of you?
Well, I was in quite a few out west in Ohio where I grew up, and out there the musical taste was a little bit more mediocre than what we're doing now. I was playing the hard rock and roll and the long hair and the loud amplifiers and everything. I was into that, and these guys came from a whole different scene up here on the East Coast.
Well, from what I've heard of your music so far, you seem to play predominantly rock and roll. Is that what you plan to concentrate in?
Oh, if you want to call it that, I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's hard to say. You know, Steven comes from a rock background. I was a solo folk player before I came into this thing. And Joe was playing rock, and Ronnie was playing that fusion thing, kind of the jazz rock. But it's going to be what we ended up.
So you're kind of blending them all together to,
Exactly.
to make your sound.
Really trying to write just an awful lot of originals, and just trying to get the originals all together, and just not concentrate on anybody else's music except our own.
Yeah.
How do you sit down and write a song? Do you all do it together, or is someone...
It all depends on the day of the week. There must be at least 8 or 9 different ways that it all happens. I don't know.
Well, really, the song happens in 2 ways. First, the words and the melody come. And up to this point, I've been doing most of that. And then I bring it into rehearsals, basically as a raw material, and we work with it from there. I don't come in with a finished product and say, okay, Joe, this is the lick I want you to play, and Ronnie, give me these drums, and Steve, do this. Because there's not enough flexibility, you know. And
most of our songs just start off as a concept, an idea, and they just, once we bring them to practice, we start to put them together.
Yeah.
Are there themes that are happening in your own lives, or...
How the songs are written?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's always from personal experience.
Sure.
So that's why we're doing originals, because I'm so sick of playing everybody else's music, telling their stories and talking about their lives. I said, hey, you know,
Well, how about the song we just heard? Is there any story behind that one, or...
Oh, yeah.
A big story behind that.
Oh, your pretty
That's
face,
all right.
your long black hair, your ice blue eyes, yeah.
Someone
It's a song
special?
about a heartbreaker, yeah.
But
Patrick's had plenty of those.
So what are the steps you guys are taking to be successful?
Well,
well,
hopefully we
right
don't
now,
have to take any. Hopefully it's just going to happen, and that's kind of what we're going on, because we never would have thought we'd be here. We never would have thought we'd be doing anything in particular. We've just tried to keep a good group head working and move on, and always take advantage of whatever there is there for us to work with.
We're concentrating on the music more than worrying about, you know, where it's taking us.
Yeah, things are just happening.
They just happen.
So what's happening in the future? Anything that you're looking forward to?
Well,
gaze into the
hopefully we'll be in the recording studio within maybe a couple of months, and we'll be putting down a really good demo.
With all originals now?
For sure, all originals.
How many originals do you have so far?
7, 8?
Seven
or eight finished, and we have
finished. There's another 3 or 4 on the line right now to be worked on, put together, arranged.
So where do you guys do all your working and everything?
Well, that basically goes down at my house, which is referred to by many as the Elko Motel, and by some others as the Elko Halfway House. But we found ourselves in a really interesting spot at the beginning of this semester in school. Around September, we had nowhere to go, and we had the old basement to the Elko Motel that was basically just a big pile of dirt. And Joe basically coordinated the whole thing. He was my contractor.
Now, what do you do? What do you do?
we built a studio, a place where we can rehearse in the basement of the Elko.
So you built a
Yeah,
studio.
it costs us about $600 to build it, and rent around town, if you're going to rent a place, is what?
About 300 a month.
Yeah, $300, $400 a month.
Plus, there's nowhere where you're going to be able to rehearse where you'll have people like the Elko Motel.
Yeah.
It's a very unique
Really,
place.
It's family that surrounds the band, and that's one of the nice things. We are a business. We understand that we're an organization, but at the same time, it's a very friendly and family kind of atmosphere.
Great.
Our road manager is one of our best friends, and you know, we have a professional rapport with him, but you know, we're friends too, and that's what makes the whole thing work.
Well, you can tell you guys have a lot of fun up there. You really sound together. Do you find that you have problems being a cohesive group? You sound like you don't, but any major problems?
Sure.
Nothing major.
Nothing major.
But
We don't want to talk about the problems.
We're all different.
No, we have our share of problems. I mean, you know, Jesus.
you know, we all
get
have
along.
different backgrounds. We're all, you know, going in, you know, coming from slightly different directions, and just the personal mix of it all, you know, is just, you know, it's at times there's definitely going to be, you know, disagreements and, you know, little problems, you know, but as long as it's nothing major, it's nothing to worry about.
It's kind of like a 4-way marriage.
Yeah, right.
You know, the
That's
way-
close. No divorces
Interesting
yet.
way to think about it, but, you know.
Cheers.
It can be that much of a hassle at times. Yeah, for sure.
Well, Joe.
Yeah.
We usually
How
get
about
over.
that song, you know, you're going to be playing next, Only in It for the Money?
Well, actually, the next song is Bleeding in the Cold, which was written by Ronnie.
Ronnie and Joe put that
Joe
together.
put the music to it. Ronnie wrote the words, basically. And after that, we'll be doing In It for the Money, which is one of Patrick's songs.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what was your favorite gig that you played?
My favorite?
Let's see.
Oh, shit. This one right now.
This one?
the best, definitely.
All right.
The best, all right.
Well, we'll be looking forward to hearing more of your music. What do you have? Bleeding in the Cold?
Bleeding in the Cold, then you'll hear
a family song.
In It for the Money, and maybe wrap it up with a little blues or something.
Yeah, we'll slip something in there.
Quick jam.
Okay. Well, listen, I know, Steve, you wanted to tell us one more story about a member of the band who couldn't be at this interview session, the Dragon.
The Dragon. Well, the Dragon is someone that's been with us everywhere we've ever been. From the first night when Joe and Pat walked into my kitchen at the Elko Motel and we kind of set it all up and drank a few cases of beer, and the Dragon sat on top of my amplifier. And if you take a close look, when we go back and do some more material, you'll see that he's still sitting there. And he's just kind of one of those things that we really believe in, and I don't know what he does, but he's always there, and he's always there to look at, and
He's a part of the band.
he's definitely a part of the band.
Something concrete for us.
Call it a good luck charm, whatever, but it's always there.
When did he first join you? Where did you all get him from?
Well, actually, it's a long story, and I'm not sure. A good friend of mine from the Elko Motel gave him to us, and we've had him ever since.
All right, well,
Take it.
we'll be looking forward to hearing more music from the Rough and Ready Band. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. All right.
Hi, I'm John Willis, looking back at all the good days in 1979. It was a year of running and tearing up the rug. It was the year that the hottest movie in town turned into a nuclear nightmare. And speaking of nightmares, Good Day was tormented by a horde of hungry Draculas. It was the year that a miracle was born, when the world's first test tube baby spent a good day with us. And of course, Good Day continued to be the showcase for the brightest names in show business as star after star paid us a visit. And it was the year that women came into their own in the movies and in real life. So the forecast for 1980 is promising. It's an election year, our own Ted Kennedy running for president. It's the year of the Olympics and Boston's 350th birthday. You will see it all here on Good Day in 1980. Join Eileen Prose and me weekday mornings at 9 for another great year of good days.
One
to one.
1 to 1.
1 to 1.
1 to 1 is what the mentor program is all about.
It's a proven program that matches one youngster, 8 through 17.
With one adult, 21 or older. When you're a mentor, liking kids is a good paying job.
Mentors receive support and training.
And the satisfaction of being a strong influence.
If you'd like to know more about the mentor program,
call 868-4000.
These are some of the toys that Channel 5 will be using to match the toys that you bring in for the ABCD Toy Drive.
Last year, 1,500 needy children were happier because of it. You can bring your new and unwrapped toys to any branch of the First American Bank or bring them here to Channel 5.
So in the true spirit of Christmas, give a new toy to the ABCD Toy Drive. We'll make sure they get into the right stocking.